Let's say you want an expert to testify in your family law case. Someone who will say that your proposed parenting schedule is the best of all possible worlds. What qualifications does someone have to be considered an expert in Illinois? Do they need a PhD or a master's? Well, as today's case points out, which involves defense counsel's valiant efforts to get a violence dynamics expert to testify, kind of depends. A person will be allowed to testify as an expert if his experience and qualifications afford him knowledge that's not common to laypersons. Doesn't technically need to be scientific, and you don't need fancy degrees either. But it can't consist of profile testimony that isn't connected to the party, such as having a guy testify that drug dealers frequently carry guns, and ergo, since the defendant was arrested with a gun, he must be a dealer. And that kind of makes sense if you think about it. Now, let's say your expert authored a study showing a specific schedule was the best of all worlds. Can it be admitted? And that's where the answer is, our state follows Fry. It's a Supreme Court case from 1923. Other places use a more modern case called Dalbert. Here, however, we still use Fry, and the Fry standard is also called the General Acceptance Test. It dictates that scientific evidence is only admissible at trial if the methodology or scientific principle upon which the opinion is based is, quote, sufficiently established to have gained general acceptance in the particular field in which it belongs, end quote. Meaning, if you're going to argue that, let's say, 50-50 is inherently best for all kids, your expert's testimony must be accepted by most people in the scientific field. Now, two notes about this. First, general acceptance doesn't concern the ultimate conclusion. It actually just focuses on the methodology employed to reach that conclusion. And second, it doesn't mean universal acceptance. There can be some dissenters, but generally there must be a consensus by most. Well, that's all the time I have. If you want more of these commentaries, hit that like or subscribe button because, hey, they're free.